Good day, students. I am Dr. Monica Khetarpal. I am Associate Professor of Physics in Government Dungar College, Bikaner. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on D'Alembert's principle. This is a topic of MSc Previous Physics. In my earlier lecture series, I have taught you what are constraints. Constraints are restrictions. If a particle is free, then we need three Cartesian coordinates to specify its position. But by imposing a restriction that a particle is bound to move in only one direction, then in this restricted condition, we need only one coordinate to specify its position. This restriction is called constraint. As I have already stated, earlier we need three coordinate. Now imposing constraint, we are in need of only one coordinate. Hence imposing constraint simplify our mathematical problem. But as we have seen earlier in my lecture series that the introduction of these constraints introduces two types of difficulty. First is that coordinates are no longer independent. They are connected by equation of constraints. So we have to remove this dependence. And second problem is that force of constraints are not considered. Now we will remove these two problems. For this, initially we will discuss the principle of virtual work. D'Alembert principle is based on this principle. What this principle states that we will derive. I am considering a system which is subjected to a small infinitesimal displacement. I am saying infinitesimal because here I am taking the displacement to be very small, and this displacement is occurring in such a way that there is no change in time. And I am saying this displacement to be virtual and denoting this displacement as delta Ri. Delta Ri denotes the difference between old and new position. Why virtual? Because there is no change in time. And actual change and virtual change are differentiated by their notations. I am denoting the virtual displacement by delta Ri, and we already know that actual displacement is denoted by dri, and this actual displacement occur in a time interval dt. Now I am taking a system of n particles. This n particle system is supposed to be in a equilibrium. As we know, when the system is in equilibrium, the total force acting on the particle will be 0. Here I have considered ith particle, hence the force Fi on this particle will be 0. Since force is 0, work done by the particle will be 0. Work is done when there is a displacement, and the displacement I am taking is virtual. Hence, work done by this virtual displacement will also be 0. I am taking n particle system. So, the total work done will be denoted as summation I is from 1 to n. Summation is from first particle to the nth particle. Fi dot delta Ri. This is the work done. Now I am dividing the force into two components. What are these two components? Here the first component is the applied force, which I am expressing as Fa with the superscript as A. And the second term is the force of constraint. So I have expressed my total force as a sum of applied force and force of constraint. Now I am assuming that work done by this force of constraint is 0. Hence Fi, small fi dot del Ri will be 0. So I am not taking this term in my expression. My expression finally becomes Fi applied dot delta Ri sum over all the n particles to be equal to 0. This is the principle of virtual work. But D'Alembert modified this principle. According to him, for a particle to be in equilibrium, total force is not simply equal to 0. He adopted the idea that force plus a reversed effect force must be equal to 0. What is that reversed effect force? That he took according to the Newton's second law of motion. Fi is equal to dpi upon dt. That means Fi minus pi naught equal to 0. Hence, a system will be in equilibrium under the action of a force which is equal to the total force Fi plus reversed effect force which has a value minus pi naught. This is the condition for equilibrium according to D'Alembert. Hence, modifying the principle of virtual work by using the D'Alembert concept, I am writing the virtual work to be Fi minus pi naught dot delta Ri equal to 0. As I have done earlier, I am splitting the total force into two components, applied force and force of constraints. So I have substituted Fi to be Fi applied and small fi, which is force of constraint. As in derivation of principle of virtual work, we have taken work done by force of constraint to be 0. Similarly, we are taking the second term, which I am showing by the arrow. This is equal to 0. Hence, we are left with the expression Fi superscript A minus pi naught dot delta Ri equal to 0. Here, for simplicity, I am dropping the subscript A. So, we have the expression Fi minus pi dot delta Ri sum over all the particles to be equal to 0. This expression is called D'Alembert principle. In the derivation of D'Alembert principle, we have removed our problem of force of constraint. As I have already stated that with the introduction of constraints, there are two problems. One being the force of constraints, which are not considered, and other being that of independent coordinates. Hence, here we have removed the problem of force of constraint because we have considered that work done by force of constraint is 0. But here we are still having one problem, that here Ri are no longer independent. They are dependent coordinate. Hence, we are still with a difficulty that delta Ri are not independent. Hence, we have to transform them into a new set of coordinates and these new set of coordinates are termed as generalized coordinates, and they are independent of each other. This we will do in our next lecture. This D'Alembert principle is the base of Lagrangian equation. We have to keep in mind the expression of D'Alembert principle. So in our next lecture, using this D'Alembert principle, we will derive the base of classical mechanics, that is Lagrange's equation. Thank you, students.